spring will be here soon, so I thought it would be a good time to go over and have a little refresher on the Gyromitra or the Gyromitra. Latin is understandardized, but this is the elephant mushroom, elephant ear mushroom, Gyromitra brunnea. Kind of looks like two ears or a couple ears that are all wrinkled, pressed together. And these are the most common false morel in my area in hardwood forests. If you're not part of the group False Morels Demystified on Facebook, this will clear a lot of things up for you because look at all the variation in this species. And, these mushrooms are still listed as poisonous in a lot of field guides because they haven't been updated. So the Alden Dirk study came out, and what this did was previously we thought that all the different Gyromitra had varying concentrations of something called gyrometrin, which is a compound you don't want to eat. And this study proved to us what a lot of people suspected, which is that some mushrooms are good and safe to eat, just like morels, and some of them are not. They all are advanced level mushrooms, but they're basically, even the most poisonous ones, the most potentially poisonous, are essentially the national mushroom of Finland. So my friend Sammy Tallberg's a chef from Finland. He has a recipe for them in his cookbook. And even the most poisonous or potentially problematic species used to be sold in cans across Western Europe, from Germany to Scandinavia. So that's important to consider. And know that I'm not encouraging you to eat these, and you don't need to, but knowing them, understanding them will make you a better morel hunter. So let's take a look at some of the fresh specimens here. So these will come up a little bit before morels. You can see these stems. If you were going to eat them, the stems are usually very dirty and the dirt will grow inside of them. So you would want to trim them up. But I'm doing this more so you can see the inside and the structure so you can familiarize yourself with them. But you can see that the stem is kind of chambered there and it is not hollow like a morel. But they'll grow in the same areas as morels, and they're a great way to know that you're in the right place, so you should keep looking. But you can see the stem is kind of chambered, and it is not hollow. Here's a good example of something that you will very often find in these because of that chambering. Pill bugs absolutely love to be in these mushrooms, which is one of the reasons I don't really cook them. They also don't taste like morels, not nearly as good, none of the ones that I have had. This is the most common lookalike in my area, and you'll only see these by each other if they're in mixed woods. Gyromitra corfii on the right hand is a conifer associate, and the brunnea on the left is a deciduous associate. And you can see that the corfii is a little bit stouter. They have less of a distinct stem, and they're just kind of more stout, and of course, more pill bugs. Their stem is also a lot more chambered, so you'll find even more pill bugs in those mushrooms. They're just filled with bugs. So some general cooking here. If you want to try these species, and only these ones, you need to know if the species is a good or bad one, which you can look at the excerpt from the study that I posted. But you can just pan roast them, put them in the pan, get some water out. It needs to be like at least 15 to 20 minutes. And after they're cooked in the oven, I'll put a little butter, garlic, thyme in there. So the crispy edges can be kind of nice on these caps. But at the end of the day, they are the mildest of the species that I've eaten. And I personally don't really think they're worth collecting. They do not taste like morels, and anyone who says they taste slightly like morels, but they're not as good, not nearly as good. They're very mild. But I'm deglazing the pan there with a little splash of wine. And you just, as long as you cook them, extended cooking is needed to make these edible, just like morels. But you can also steam them. So previously, people would boil them in multiple changes of water. That'll make these mushrooms absolutely tasteless. But you can steam them if you want to keep some of the flavor in. I also make sure to cut them into pieces so you can see if there's pill bugs or slugs or whatever inside of them, because the bugs do love them. So then after those are steamed, you would put them in a pan and brown them up so they taste good. But if you would eat them or if you don't, the choice is up to you. But understanding them is going to make you a better morel hunter. So just a quick little breakdown of those mushrooms. There's more information on my website and a link at the top of the video description for that. Thanks for watching.